Smile, your cheque's in the post. What's that about?
Hello magazine celebrating 10 years?
Might be.
Is it?
Yeah.
After intense interrogation, I wheedled it out of you. Myself and Ian, we did a disastrous pilot for it. It was a beautiful summer's afternoon in 1990. Far too good to be in a television studio. But I think the BBC had already bought it, so that's how it, it became a series. We would be making the show on a Thursday, go out on a Friday. No reviewer could possibly review it in that time. We started off as an audience of 2 million, and somebody might have noticed it and mentioned it to their friend, and it just sort of built up a momentum of its own.
It's an advert for Althrop, is it?
Is he allowed to spell his name differently from the way it's written? Is he actually allowed to do that? Because it's written Althrop, but he's allowed to say Althrop. We want to say, oh, it's Althrop. We want to say that.
I don't think it's illegal, certainly. I don't...
Really?
I don't think you can arrest him for...
So we could suddenly start saying, all right, milk's going to be pronounced... and everybody would have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like Magdalen College is spelt Magdalene.
Yeah.
Why?
Is that where you were, John?
Yes, it was, yes. No,
God, blimey, not another one. The number of shows I do, I never meet anybody from my old school. I don't know why that is. There's been a lot of confusion. Sort of people say, oh, they see the questions beforehand, which we do. But some people say we see the answers, which, if we don't, because that would rob it of it being a quiz.
Paul and Charlie, this is yours. What is the story behind these bits of film? Now, you'll only see it once on the night, but here it is again.
There is a certain amount of show business goes on in putting on a show. We found very early on, it's worth seeing the questions beforehand so you can work out your depth of ignorance. If you really don't know, you sort of think, well, I've got to try and say something here. And it's much better to be doing that for 10, 15 minutes before the show than be doing it when the cameras are rolling in front of an audience, because it's an audience doesn't want to see you going, well, who's he?
Paul, your four are Elvis Presley, Widdicombe, Theodore Roosevelt and Giles Brandreth. Here's the other one out. Oh, damn, I think you might know. Yeah.
Is one higher than the other?
So, Ian, do you know any of the answers?
No, they seem ridiculously obscure tonight.
Yeah. I know it's about teddy bears. Well, I think I know it's about teddy bears.
It'll be something else, about whether they're vegetarian or not.
I don't know who he is. Never met him.
Your jacket.
My jacket.
Right, well, you're one behind in the series, which I've never been able to say to you before.
Has that never happened before?
Nope.
That's an unnecessary trend.
I feel it in my bones, another win is coming on.
And so to the bear pit, that is our odd one out round, individually contested, fought over and most often lost. Paul, your groovers and shakers are Elvis Presley and Widdicombe, Theodore Roosevelt and Giles Brandreth.
Doesn't look stupid, does he? Has he got anything to do with teddy bears?
Might do, might not.
Well, it has, hasn't it? It clearly has something to do with teddy bears, and Elvis Presley didn't own a teddy bear, he just sung about it. All the others no. All the others have owned teddy bears, apart from Teddy Roosevelt, who shot a bear, so he's the odd one out.
Is the right answer.
Hey! So Norman Tebbit wrote an article in the Mail on Sunday criticising the whole programme and said, well, of course, have I got news for you? Of course, it's all edited. These people, they couldn't improvise live. They couldn't improvise live. You put them on a stage, you wouldn't be able to improvise. And when I read that Norman Tebbit said I couldn't improvise, I was...
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge welcome on stage to Mr. Paul Merton!
Live improvisation has always been at the heart of Paul's professional life. He's been a regular with the Comedy Store Players for 14 years and still performs most Sunday nights with the same group of actors.
Mr. Jim Sweeney and Professor Richard Branch. in total, there's probably about 11 people that are the Comedy Store players. There's 6 people who normally do the show, but when I'm missing or somebody else is missing, other people come in, and they're all very, very good. On a Sunday, it means you go out, you have 2 hours in the company of your friends on stage, go for another pint and a curry afterwards.
You, the audience, in this one game, get the chance to shout out "die" very loudly, right? Just in this one game. So let's have a practice of shouting "die" on the count of 3, OK? 1, 2, 3. Die! Not bad.
It wasn't like Princess Diana was killed, and we were just about to go on. I said, "Come on, we can't do the die game. We can't get the audience to shout out as a measure of fun." Die,
and that's what's happened.
It is the word you cannot say that night. And
it's 2 letters.
And we got something. We picked up a sort of word that the audience had given in one of the test selections at the beginning, you know, the warm-up bit, and we used that word for
marshmallow. But you've been careful about everything. No jokes about dying. No mistakes. I did it. I've gone through it. This first game's called Die.
Just fantastic. But I remember that night, that audience,
which is tribute.
Tribute game. But that night, the audience shouted out great stuff. They wanted to laugh, and it was an example.
It was an example of entertainment at its finest,
yes,
where people go to be entertained and forget the other stuff that's going on in life. So for this game, we need a title, a Sherlock Holmes title, one that's been not Conan Doyle, one that's been made up. So we're the case of something from maybe somebody over here, perhaps. Say that one again. Ostrich of the Valley. Ostrich of the Valley. OK, this is a Sherlock Holmes case called the case of the ostrich in the valley, or of the valley.
What's the advantage of doing something improvised? Why do you think it's good to do? Why do you think it's a good way of making people laugh? I mean, what's the fun of it?
When you have, when you sit in a room trying to convince a commissioning editor that a joke is a funny joke and he can't get it, and you need to go to the Comedy Store and you think of something off the top of your head and you do it and the audience roar with laughter. It doesn't have to go through a committee. You don't have to be. There's no budget considerations. It's like, I've thought of something funny, I've said it. It's funny, great, we'll move on. I thought of something funny, oh, it isn't funny. It doesn't matter, we'll move on anyway. And it is, yes, it is properly improvised, because if it was in any way fixed or rehearsed, it would look naff. It would look badly rehearsed. It would lack spontaneity, because an audience can tell when something's spontaneous or if it's been, you know. And we get people coming week in and week out down at the store who wouldn't if they were seeing the same show.
It was a cold Tuesday morning at Baker Street. 221B was sizzling under the fire that Mrs. Hudson had made that day.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. Oh, Mr. Watson, it's you.
Yes.
I've set fire to the sofa again.
Oh, no.
I'll have the fire brigade put it out.
Well, not before you toast some muffins on it first.
All right.
Where's
All
Mr.
health to the muffins.
Where's Mr. Holmes this fine day?
He's outside shooting up.
I once had a conversation with a waiter in an Italian restaurant who was knocked out by the whole thing, and he kept saying it's impossible. And I said, no, it's not impossible, because you've got 2 people on stage. There are certain rules to understand which you can break once you know what they are. Basically, there's a rule that's agree and add, where if we're doing a scene and I say, oh, doctor, thank goodness you're here, and you say, I'm sorry I'm late, how is your mother? And I say, she's still very, very ill. She's upstairs with the lodger.
Send in the next member of your staff.
All right, I'll bring in the maid, Daisy. She's from Newcastle and walks with a limp.
Wait a minute, I've heard of her. Is she the one that speaks only in rhyme?
I know, it's extraordinary.